Welcome back to Lights On. So glad you're here. This episode is amazing, starring my daughters, Ava and Charlie, and my wife, Laura. Have you ever wondered how to connect with people you love better, especially if they're your children and they live in your house? We talk a lot about connection in this episode, what matters, what doesn't matter, how to get closer, how to not do things that put you in the way of what you're really trying to create, especially as a parent. So I think there's a lot to glean from this. I think you're going to love it. We talk a lot about culture, how to keep your kids secure. And my daughters talk a lot about what Laura has done over the years as well to create women that are making us proud. So I hope you love it. Check out the episode. Lights On, Ava, Charlie, Laura Lentz. Lights On podcast, Laura Lentz, Ava Lentz, Charlie Jane Lentz. Firstly, welcome to the Lights On podcast. Shout out to everybody that has subscribed on YouTube. Let's give them a huge hand. Wherever you catch your pods, we love you. We're grateful for you. This is like the first one we've created in this new chapter where we're just doing our thing. How does it feel to be in the first installment here, my lovelies?
Obviously, it would be us. So
Yeah, I feel like it's only right. I feel like it's only proper that we were here.
Yeah. Laura, how are you feeling, love?
I feel great.
Yes.
Jesus is risen again.
Oh, this is post-Easter.
It's
so
Easter
that's fair.
Sunday.
Happy Easter.
That's fair. Yeah, it's a big day.
Yep.
Check in with me. So Ava Lentz, in case people don't know, you turned 21 coming up very soon. Are you ready for your first drink?
Venmo me for a drink.
What do you?
Venmo's Ava Lentz. I'm going to need a drink on my birthday. Thank you.
Water?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you for that. 21. What's it feel like to be on the precipice of being able to get a little bit more esteem socially because you're 21?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I don't feel old, but I do feel old. I know it's not old, but it's kind of a scary age.
Yeah.
But it's a definitely better age than 19 and 20, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
It just
it
sounds
is.
better.
That's true.
It is. And Charlie?
On that note, I'm turning 19.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's nice. Good to hear.
Tell me this, ladies. What, and for those of you who are checking in, so my daughters serve as the cool police. So you guys frequently will give me updates, news. Sometimes it's harsh, as in like, Dad, that's not cool. You're not cool. This is. And then sometimes it's kind. You're like, you'll send me a song or two. So I thought I'd share that with people because there's a lot of us who are we're just trying to survive.
Trying to make it.
You're just trying to make it. The last thing I can know about is Doechii, or one of the people that you guys have pointed me to. Music is typically where you guys really help me out. So what do I not know right now? Who's awesome? Play me something. Give me a taste. What is it?
Well,
Because we just...
Well, honestly, I feel like you've never...
Oh my gosh, I never?
No, just like I think that we should start with like, and don't think are awesome. And it's like about time you start thinking are awesome.
Ooh, okay, I'm game.
You
So,
aren't on the Doechii wave. You
play,
wanna admit
play me,
that?
play
I
me a
actually
song.
would disagree
play,
with that.
play me a song.
I think.
Play me a song, and we'll let the people decide. I didn't know a lot about her, and
Bloom.
just
You
play
love
it.
Bloom.
Oh
This is-
yeah, play
Bloom
it,
is
play
beautiful.
it, play it. Yep.
I love this song. Hold on. We love Doechii, and we want you to watch your tiny desk.
Tiny
perform.
desk. I'm in. I'm involved.
Okay. Okay, everybody shut up. I showed you this in Florida.
Oh yeah.
This spring break. This one. In the.
Okay, yeah, she's dope. She's
Yeah.
cool.
And the
But
lyrics.
some of her lyrics. One time you guys sang me a song of hers that made me want to go.
Nissan Altima, if you know, you know.
I don't
Her
know.
greatest song.
But
No,
so
it's
she
not
has
hers.
some that are not sexually explicit.
That is like the one song.
Why would you play
where
it
she
for me?
mentions two lyrics about that.
Okay. All right.
So I think
But
that it's a
mostly,
big,
okay.
like her whole album is so deep and so
Fair.
layered. So I think that
But
it would just be more fair.
We
to
also
say.
have been on a house wave as a family. I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
say.
You showed me the.
I'm not. I'm on a jazz wave.
We were gonna. You were kind of
she
going.
comes.
In,
You.
hey,
Here
we
she
were going
comes.
in order. But here
I'm
she
by
is.
myself.
I was actually thinking, where's Mom?
You're on
been?
a jazz wave.
Yeah.
Do you want to say more about it?
Well,
You are-
I
we do
like
love
to set my home up,
Yeah.
and so why am I playing with my hair?
Oh, yeah.
At night, or the afternoon hits about 4 o'clock. I'm like, great, I'm going to get ready to make dinner. Yep. I turn my Sonos on and it is Spotify, jazz, chill, lo-fi, one of those genres, or they are all together. And I just vibe out in my kitchen. And then everyone else feels it as you come in. It just creates a vibe.
There are times when the lo-fi-ness gets a little bit like, what is happening?
I disagree. I always like
Thank you, Charlie.
This is an important moment to acknowledge your mom's world-renowned ability to create a vibe anywhere, anytime, anything. So we've had small houses and we've had big houses. Yep. Regardless of the size or quality, your mom has a very unique gift to make it awesome. Yep. Is that universally agreed upon? So well done, love.
And you know where I think I get it from a lot from?
Where?
Your mum, who is here right
She's
now.
in the Ema, shout out to Ema.
But no, I didn't know a lot of things until I moved to America.
My mom is good at that.
And your mum is so good. And your sisters, they're all great at creating a home vibe.
Yeah.
Atmosphere, warmth.
I don't think people realize it until
Yeah.
they come into a space, what space they never had.
Correct.
So often people will come. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was done.
Often
I'm always done.
Sometimes people will be like, "You cut off Laura." I'm like, "No, I've been married to her for over 2 decades. I know when she's closing down." Laura doesn't end sentences like with a definitive point. Sometimes she'll just trail. She's even known for bailing out of a thought mid-thought. And I'll go, "You didn't want to finish the sentence?" She goes, "Nah, it's no good."
It's because of the Perry. I just can't.
And listen, we're going to be clear about this. The perimenopause excuse.
It's a thing.
It's got to go. We've addressed
Ask
this before.
Dr. Mary Claire.
I'm not interested in who that is.
Look her up.
So what else is cool
She
right now?
validates me.
Do I need to know anything else? Do the people need to know anything else? Like, let's just say there's another dad like me.
You don't like SZA.
Well, I don't feel like that's fair.
We're dropping that right now. You're
I don't
about to
feel
lose
like
a
it's
couple.
fair
Well,
that I
that's what I
don't
was
like
talking
SZA.
about. I wasn't even talking about Doechii because I knew you liked Doechii. I was like,
SZA has been a really hard road to try to get dad to drive on. It's been
Can I give some context why?
Sure, go
I'll
ahead.
give you a couple
No,
names.
have them.
I'll give you a couple names. Whitney Houston, Mary J.
Okay.
Those are
Aaliyah.
two different.
no
Hold
one
on,
is-
I'm
no
building
one
my
is-
case. Here's why it's hard for me to accept some of these newer people. My
Whitney
standard.
Houston and SZA, obviously.
I'm building a case though. So
but
that's
no,
that's
but-
my template. That's my standard. So if you bring me something, you need to understand what you're walking into. So SZA I like, but I feel like, Charlie, I've been telling you this for years. There's about 7 of those artists that could just be one artist. Her, SZA.
Yeah.
SZA was the blueprint for that.
Her
Okay.
is not the same as SZA. I'm sorry.
They-
I don't know
And
a lot,
also
but I
You
know
could
that.
say the same for Tribe Called Quest and Outkast.
Watch
They
your
say
mouth.
You sound the same, but when
Watch-
you know their
Facts.
sound,
Don't
you
you-
know their sound,
Facts.
and you know the difference.
Watch
And
your
you
mouth
were-
when it comes to Tribe. That's not it's apples and oranges. What I'm saying is, when it comes to SZA, she's great. I appreciate her. I just need a little bit more. That's all.
And great.
You've heard like 2
And you can
3
stay
songs.
right there with that. You'll be by yourself.
Well, keep me
We'll
posted.
be on. We'll be singing her songs.
Hey, tell me this when it comes to culture, by the way. What's the game now? I've been curious about this because I was talking to Romy, who's just a legend. But when it comes to like, if a guy wants to approach a girl, like how does it even work? Because your generation doesn't know how to speak out loud to other people. That's a fact. So I can imagine like trying to approach a young woman as a young man would be like, there's no more like, hi, how are you? What's your name? What's the move? Is it going to be always a DM, a snap thing? Like there's a whole lingo or a whole communication thing around Snapchat, whether it's read or unread, correct? Speak to this, please, just so I can understand.
Like, what's your question? Just
How
like,
does someone pursue
I
you?
was lost by the question.
How does somebody pursue
pursue
you?
you?
Like, what's the game like right now?
It's on texting, right?
I mean, I don't really know. I feel like
Snapping.
it depends on the person because there are some people that will go up to you and be like a normal human, but it's also probably mostly on the phone.
Yeah. I personally,
It's
just
not a
end
lot
up
of
shutting down
it's
all
not
the
a lot
guys
of
before they
pursuing
can.
like people like it's not a lot of pursuing vibes. Like it's just like
Yeah,
I don't
nobody
know.
really pursues.
It's rare
That's
when a
the
guy's
problem.
like
That's the problem.
pours
That
into
there's
you
no
like that.
pursuit. There's no like courting. That's
So how do you
really
even know someone likes you?
You know,
They
I
snap
pers-
you.
I don't
They
know.
get your snap.
I'm just in a constant state of guessing all the time.
Which is an indictment on young men.
Yeah.
If you like
Or
somebody,
bad dads.
If you like
or
somebody,
bad
act
dads,
like it.
fair. If you like somebody, why not let them know?
Yeah, because
Like, why is it-
when you actually do like somebody, you do let them know. So it's like,
Why is it uncool to walk up to someone and say, I think you're really interesting and I'd like to get to know you better? Like, why can't young men do that nowadays?
They're insecure. Why you
Insecure?
or they just like don't.
insecure?
Okay, fair.
Sorry, I forgot.
Sorry.
What it was.
No. It's good. I was just asking how it works because I want to know how that piece of culture cooks right now.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no like.
If I could travel
Fair.
back in time and get like a love letter from a boy, and that's how they tell me they like me, I would. We belong in the '90s.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Well, let's do this for me. Just check in. I want to know because you guys go back to school tomorrow. You're both at Westmont in Santa Barbara. Shout out to the Westmont. What y'all's the Warriors?
Warriors.
Also, let's go ahead with a big rebrand. You know, like last time I was there, I was like, why are we going to go with this logo? Like, why? It could be so awesome.
Let's
and as a branding
rebrand.
guy,
Yeah.
every time I sit in that gym, I'm like, okay, so we're just married to the maroon.
Yeah.
Westmont lives in its own world.
I
You
like the
can't-
maroon.
I love
Not
the
mad at
It's
it.
part of my color palette, so I'm not.
Okay,
really
I don't
mad
mind
at
the
it.
maroon per se.
It's just
but I
the-
would like to.
You
I
don't
would
like
like
the
to
mascot?
see. I just think there's more. But
Yeah.
shout out to Westmont. It's a good
agree.
school. We've
Love you,
appreciated
Westmont.
it thus far. It's a beautiful campus. How are you feeling emotionally, spiritually? Something that made you laugh last month. Give me a check-in.
Probably each other.
Yeah.
Go emotionally first.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Emotional. Well, you look like you were thinking about it, so I was like, I don't know if you're gonna go. Emotionally, I'd say just my friends have been making me laugh, and like just being really like in touch with what energy I let in from the friends around me, like whether it's my small circle or my big circle, like just like I've been very grounded this past month. Or rather this past like 3 weeks. I don't know. Ever since last time I was here, that was great. When I went back.
Yeah.
About spiritually. How you feeling spiritually? You feel connected? You feel disconnected? You feel
I think that I felt more disconnected this season. And I think that's been really interesting to like experience because I went into it being like so like cuz I was so on fire and I like was like I had my routine, I did my journaling every night, I had my Bible time, and then just over time like I that dwindled, and I've never thought that I would be one of those people who would like let like college get in the way of that, but it was so easy to let it get in the way. So it was just super interesting to like oh, like I actually have a lot of control over my own faith, and like I just can really step into that now. Like
And we had a good talk about how to frame that, remember? Like as far as even if that stuff's true, and we made the choice to go, and it doesn't necessarily affect how God feels about us. Because I think that's a
Right.
common thing with everybody, no matter what your age. If you have a routine that's working really well and you don't do it, all of a sudden you feel like, no, I'm not as close to God. And we've realized that that's a choice to think that, because there's two worlds where one, it's like I want to get my routine stronger, and I'm close to the God that saved my life. You know, there's a power in that for sure.
yeah, and I remember that one of the main things I took from that was that like I loved coming home because it was where church was, and that's where I felt the most close. And then you helped me like kind of frame that into like I can feel that anywhere I want, and being home is where like family
Yes.
is, so that helps.
So one of the things I realized from our combo, Charlie, was just how common it is for people to feel like you're doing good or bad. When the reality is, no, there's a bunch of truth. So for instance, it's like I feel the closest to God when I'm home at church. We changed that to these things don't compete. I love being home
Right.
because church is special, and that's a really unique feeling. And I can create this wherever I go. So it doesn't have to be like an either or. It's a both.
Yeah.
I love that. Proud of you. And you just had a crushing, amazing song in the TC. Shout out to TC, the church that we love. Ransom, a play that they do every Easter, which we love. And you had a song that was spectacular.
Makes mom cry every
That's
time.
why my makeup's not done today. It's all washed away in church.
kind of like your sins because of the blood of Jesus, eh?
Yep.
Catch it.
Praise the Lord.
But I'm super proud of you, Charlie. You crushed it. And what did it feel like to hear your voice?
Oh gosh, I was super excited because I liked it, but like I also like had been hearing from the people who had heard it how good it was, so I was like, I knew that it was good.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, oh, are people gonna like it? It was more just
You know.
like,
When are
oh,
they
they're gonna
hear it?
hear.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's just like it's just crazy in itself. But then I would like it was just so like fun like seeing Abby, Charles, and Mike all in the row. They all looked at me when it started playing, and they were like,
And I thought it was cool to see people like raise their hands and
Resonate with the
worship
song,
to
yeah.
that, and like
Yeah, I
it's
saw
just
that
cool that
today.
that's your voice.
Yeah,
You're leading people in
super
that.
surreal. Like just like feel very.
No, I'm proud of you. Proud of you. And
Are you crying?
No, Ava Boo. Not yet. Not yet. Give me time. Ava Boo, emotionally, spiritually, how you feeling?
Maybe you can help me articulate, but I think spiritually I am discovering more things, I think. Like I don't really feel necessarily disconnected or more connected. I think I am realizing a lot of layers that come with my relationship with Jesus, and I think that kind of like what she's talking about, like I remember my freshman year like trying to learn how to like have my own routine, and we don't have church anymore, so figuring out like that out there and like, you know, pouring into myself and all of that. I'm still figuring that out, and that I feel like is always changing. So I think I'm still trying to find I'm still trying to find my solid routine in that way. But I don't know. I don't know. I've been frustrated recently because like I'll have super hard seasons or like hard moments where I feel like I could be like angry with God or like frustrated, but I'm never like actually frustrated or angry because like I don't know. I've had an interesting time with like he's never like not there, you know, and that can be kind of like. I don't know. I've had a lot of weird moments where I want to sit in my, like, you know, whatever the situation might be, and, like, because that may be easier to me in the moment. But I don't know. I have a lot of layers with God is what I'm discovering, and that's been really cool.
You have a lot of layers as a human.
Yeah.
You know, you're a very complex, layered, beautiful human. So there's going to be layers to it. One of the things you said about frustration that I love to always bring up is like within every frustration, there's freedom in there if you can find it.
Yeah.
So frustration really is like a moment to go, what is this?
Yeah.
And if you push through it, because frustration's a choice, I'm frustrated, which typically means there is an expectation that has not been met somewhere, whether it's from a person. Some people are frustrated at the world. What they're really saying is the world should have done something for me by now that I expected and it didn't.
Yeah.
So now we've tried to build a system in y'all's own mental engineering where if you get frustrated, it's not like I'm sitting in this now. Where is there freedom to be found? I'm frustrated with my brother for taking my clothes. There could be freedom here with some extra articulation.
Yeah.
Boom, now the frustration's gone.
Yeah.
So,
I thought like a lot of moments like that where I feel like I have a lot of opportunities for maturity, and sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes I want to choose to not be mature, I guess, and like sit but I never actually end up doing that because.
yeah.
Do you think your dad has helped you in some of those ways with the reframing thing that he does, which I think has been really helpful for all of us?
Yeah.
I'm probably the last on the list to get this part, but you guys do really well at reframing. How has that helped you with some of those mentalities that you have?
I use it every day.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
I feel like it's,
when
it's
you wake
whenever
up
I
in the
call
morning,
him.
yeah. Sometimes you have.
Just got interrupted.
Oh, sorry.
Also,
It's the Perry, it's the
also
Perry.
one of Laura's greatest gifts.
No, it's not a gift.
It's just when she
only with
speaks.
me. Only when I speak do I get interrupted. Every single time.
I love the times where it'll be like 5 times in a row that she'll restart and then you'll have a new thought. It's
And she
just
does
the
it again.
craziest
She does have a
thing.
knack for interrupting Ava, for sure.
Only me. Anyways.
It's because you have the patience for it.
All right.
Your reframability is a superpower.
Yes.
That's a fact.
And I definitely took me a second too, though. Because I think I've had a lot recently. I've had a lot of moments where it's like, okay, I can say that, but I don't care. Like
Right.
it's not happening, and
Yeah.
you'll be like, well, Like that's a part of it, but I've had a lot of that. That's been annoying for sure. Like
It's annoying, isn't it?
yeah, like I had a good, like when it first got introduced to me and we started like working on that and doing that consistently, it was great. And then the moments where I like really don't believe that like I'm gonna figure this out, and I'm like, Dad, no, I'm not, or like I am, but like it's not figured out though.
Yeah.
And
that's part of the power in that is the honesty. You have to be able to say that, because you're not going to stay there, but to be able to say, I know I could think about this differently, but I'm enjoying torturing myself right now and thinking about
That's
it
what I do
poorly.
too.
So it's like, okay, when I'm ready, I'm going to think about this in a new way.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of angles.
And I think you do a good job at letting us like have the moments where we're just like, I'm pissed off. Like, I don't want to believe that right now, but I know I will. But like, or getting to ask those questions or like kind of rebuttal when you say those encouraging things, like we definitely have things to clap back with sometimes, I think, just out of whatever the situation is.
I feel like your generation needs it more than anyone else, because I'm sure you guys see it now, but when you start talking to people, you're like, oh, you're not aware yet. You can think differently.
Yeah.
Because people just think I am my thoughts. And that is a common thing you'll hear now. And I don't agree or disagree. I just amend it. So when people say, you are not your thoughts, I said, well, unless you choose to be.
Right.
I'm my thoughts if I choose those thoughts.
Yeah.
So if I have a thought right now, which I don't want to be a good dad. I don't choose that thought. I have the power to do that. So when people say you're not your thoughts, it's like I am. As a man thinks, so he is. So I think I'm proud of you guys and your growth with that. It's pretty powerful.
We kind of
and
done the
yours.
same thing.
And
with, like,
yours, yeah.
Actually,
anxiety.
keep going. Sorry. Dad was encouraging me, so I was going
I
to
was,
pop
I
in
was,
there,
I
but it's
was,
fine.
I
Keep
was.
going.
Go.
No, it's okay, Mom.
No, I forget what I was saying.
No, you're about to. You just realized because you're
yeah.
actually way better at this than you give
No,
yourself
but
credit
I have gone through we talked about it, I think the last time on a pod, but I had a really hard few months of like you teaching me how to reframe, and I'm like, F that, I'm not reframing anything. Like I just want to sit in this for a while. And I did, and it got me nowhere.
for. Right.
Yeah.
And then got some affirmations happening in my life, and that definitely helped me. I also met with a woman, my friend Carla, who's in Dallas, and I spent a weekend with her, and she helped me with some things, the same thing you did, but it's just different when it comes from not you or like someone else. So, but the culmination of both of those, I definitely have found myself the last 6 weeks reframing a lot of things and seeing the fruit of my reframe.
Yeah.
And it has helped me. It is exactly what you were saying. Like, you are what you think. Is that what you said?
Yeah. That's
Whatever.
a way to say it. Yeah.
So that has definitely helped me. But I love seeing it with our kids and how you do that with them. And I wish more parents had that tool for themselves to be able to do that with their kids.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting a Biggie visit for those of you that are listening. Audio only. Our dog just does what he wants. Here's something that's fun to challenge people with, because it's true. If I were to take a survey right now online and say, who agrees that your mental health is the conduit for everything good in your life? Everybody would raise their hand. If I were to say, who believes that mental health should be a priority? People are like, yes. And then you say, show me where you invest into your mental health.
Yeah.
It would be, for a lot of people, at a 0.
Yeah.
And you can hear that and not change it. But when you see people start to turn that corner, what happens is it's like, all right, take 5 minutes every day, 5 minutes extra to invest in your mental health, whether that's your Bible, your affirmations, whatever it is you do. And the 5 is so good, it turns to 10, turns to 20. Before you know it, your whole life revolves around this. Because if that's true, what I'm investing here, I'm going to see everywhere in my life. It would make sense to, give it more time. But I bet you in college, especially on college campuses, I know this from you, my daughter, Charlie Jane, it seems like that's the thing that goes the first. It's like, I've got school, I've got relationships, I've got responsibilities. And it's like, oh yeah, my mental health. Well, I relate, because that's the story of a huge chapter of my life where I was like, I'll get around to filling my own mental stuff when I can. Right now, I got to go help. Got to go serve.
Right.
You can't figure out why you run out of gas.
Yeah. So how would you explain like how to reframe to like our age instead of mom, but like kids in that? How would you
Who
explain
have
that?
never experienced.
Because I do have a hard time trying to explain like reframing
yeah.
to my friends, because like I get it, but at the same time, I don't know.
Easy
like-
question. Great question. Go ahead, Char.
I was just gonna say, I feel like a lot of the kids at our school aren't like in tune with mental health because a lot like the culture, I feel like this might be a total
religionized.
reach, but like it's just like God will fix it. Just pray the anxiety away.
Or if
Like,
you are
it's
if you
not,
are
like-
holy, or if you are like doing all of these things that like you know, like serving whatever, like you're happy and you're good. Like that
Right.
is a very strong, and I think that's also why we have moments where we need to reframe and struggle, because that's our environment so much, and it like
Yeah.
that's how everyone is kind of operating. So
You're gonna say, Char?
I was just gonna like clarify that, like pray the anxiety away, like that is like it is
Sure.
true, it works, but it's just like it also helps to have like the physical actions, and a lot of the people at our school like do not have never heard anything like that.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's important. You know, I think a lot of people, even the term mental health is so corny now, where it's almost like people just throw it out the window. We're talking about mental engineering. I'm talking about like dictating your whole life according to what's going on here. Easy answer for people. So Ava, your question was, what do we say to young people who have never started this journey, and for old people like me? It's the beginning of this life starts with this. What else might be true? That's it. So I cannot stand the people that I work with. Okay. What else could be true? Simple question. And then you start to understand. And if you honor that and go, okay, what else could be true? I'm grateful I have a job. Maybe I don't know these people as well as I think I do. All of a sudden, your brain starts to collect new info. So whenever you get hit with a dominant thought that is not producing what you want it to produce, just ask yourself, what else might be true? I hate the traffic on the 405. It's the story of my life. I hate it. I sit in traffic every day. Fair. What else might be true? I've got a lot of time to learn a new language with some Rosetta Stone. Not untrue. It's not true. It's not more true. It's just also true. I think that's the power. So it's like anytime you get hit with something that you know doesn't feel good, just ask yourself, what else could be true right now? Like my family doesn't know me. Okay, fair. What else could be true? Maybe I can articulate my needs more. Boom, resource. So this is all here.
Yeah.
This doesn't cost you any money, you know. So it's a good check.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Lozzie Bell, on the money?
Yep.
Hey, have you ever showed off your 2020 tat?
She sure
Can you-
has.
Many
Which finger? This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2020.
So 2020
Cross
was
it
a
out.
year of challenge for us. And, Laura has decided to mark that
Yep.
permanently with a 2020 on a particular
That's
finger.
our mom right there.
That's who runs the show
Lozzie
around
Bell.
here.
Reframe queen.
That's a reframe
Clearly.
right there.
Let me ask you guys about pressure, because I'm really interested in trading pressure for peace.
As they're about to go into their finals,
Finals.
week for college.
But I'm talking about in general. I wonder, because here's where this comes from. Here's my question for y'all, because I love the way you guys handle yourself on social media and dealing with all that, you know, all the stuff that culture can do. And I was wondering the other day, I'm like, I wonder what young women with no maybe moms and dads that are involved, I wonder how they handle it, because I watched, you had a bunch of friends over here one day, Char, and everybody would check TikToks, click comments. Before you even watch the whole thing, it's a habit to see
look at the
what other
comments.
people are
I do
saying. And I
that.
thought, man, that fascinates me. So let me get this straight. I post something. I'm passionate about it. I think it's great. And then I'm going to sit there in anticipation to see how many other people like it. Is that really more pervasive than y'all even realize? Is that really, or is it not a big deal? Or do we older people make it? Do you guys just not care, or because they have to care? Because why would you be scrolling through so many comments on every single page? It's like check a post, comments, check a post, comments. Why do we care so much about these comments? Teach me, tell me.
I think honestly, on most of the time, the comments are just really funny.
Okay, I get that too, because that's fun.
That's a completely different scenario than what I think you're referring to. When it's like you're like posting stuff, or like it's actual like posts
Yours.
of people and checking the comments, I feel like it's just like people just, like we just can't form opinions for ourselves, maybe.
Interesting.
Almost like, and I've caught myself where I've like watched the video and I was like, oh, that was funny. And then I check the comments are like, bro, like this was like stupid.
And
And
you're
I'll
like,
be
"No,
like,
that's not funny."
I'll be like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
shit, like let me unlike this, like,
Yes,
you know.
yes,
So
yes.
it's like, but it's also like, so it's like it can be like light. Like I don't think it's that deep. most of
Okay.
the time,
Yeah.
but I also think that it can
It can get deep.
like manifest to something deeper
Yeah.
that I haven't experienced
Interesting.
yet, but maybe I should get
So
onto it.
no, I know it makes sense to me because I do that as well. Like there's sometimes I'll see a funny video and I'll be like, I can't wait to see people
What they're gonna say?
go to town on this. And there's a couple
100%.
ones I'd bring up right now, but it would offend people. And so so you're saying sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. Do you feel like it plays on people's mental health? Like, because here's what I love about both of you: you've stayed classy. There is a way to go TikTok famous in your generation, and it has a lot to do with showing your body a lot. Both of you have, for the most part, rejected that in full. I would even say you have totally. My preference would be for you to be almost like a Mennonite wife, which is from you can look it up after the show. Just
Neck
from
down.
from neck down, I would prefer that you would be completely clothed at all times.
Wrapped
Yet
up.
you have your own life. You're very powerful and secure in who you are. But my point is, you haven't sold out to get followers.
Yeah.
How does that? Like, how have you gotten there? It's a choice every
Yeah.
day, right?
Yeah.
Because
And I
you
also
see
think
these
it's a-
these people on there
Yeah.
shaking their assets.
Yes.
Oh,
I think it's honestly just a matter of like
yeah.
I think it's a matter of like I just know what the internet is, like who's
Yeah.
on the internet.
Mm.
Like I'm like I don't want these random
Wow.
Old men.
people like
Yeah.
like it's
To
just
be
people
seeing
like
us like
even
that.
the slightest little bit like people can take that
Yeah.
and post it somewhere else that's like so it's just I think it's just a matter of there's creepy ass people and I
Yeah.
just don't like we have somewhat of a platform and that's just never been like
Yeah.
I'm just like and I also like I see the girls who do post that
Yeah.
like whether they're famous or not like how they function and that's just not like
Like cool for
where-
you.
yeah
Like that's
Yeah.
that's what you're choosing. But like I think it's also a security thing with us. Like I think y'all have done a great job at like really pushing security on us and like carrying that out through like stuff like this. Because we both have like you just said, we have a significant amount of people that watch us a lot of the time. Whether it's like it might not be 1 million people, but it is a good
Yeah, it's
sum
a
of
lot,
people
sure.
that definitely have an opinion on what we're doing, that all of that. And I think it's so easy to go the route that we don't want to, but it's kind of a moment where I check myself and be like, do I want to even be like
right
posting like that?
Right.
No, like whatever. Let me like go make a stupid dance with Charlie and we look like idiots, and then that's the stuff that'll get like the most
Yeah.
views on
Yeah.
my stuff. So it's like
the video
like,
that I got
checkpoint.
famous, I was in PJ pants and we were all like, it was like, why would you post that when you can do something that's actually fun
Right.
and get even bigger?
at
So
the end
it's
of the
like-
day, I don't think we care about anybody that's on the other end of the phone when we post what we post or like when we
That's a
say what
good
we want to
template,
say
yeah.
on there. Like I don't like why. I'll be a never-ending circle for me at least. Like I would just be constantly.
Yeah.
Thinking about everyone else.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that because I see it. I see it in real time. I haven't always been great at that. I think there was I was telling Mom, I think I internalized a lot as a young pastor, constant criticism. And I did okay with it, but if you don't build a strong boundary, you can say it's not getting to you, but it's getting to you. So what you do is start overthinking things that are genuine to you.
Yeah.
Like, I want to post this. But what if somebody, if that is your gauge with anything you do, I think it leads to things that, I think it leads to a life that's not really genuine. So I'm
Yeah.
proud of you guys for that. I think you guys you handle your life with a lot of class. I think it's a reflection of
Yeah. 100%.
the stunner on this bench.
Yeah.
Totally.
What did you do as a mom that created these girls that are becoming more secure daily?
Yeah,
Because
I
I
need
think
to know this
security as a
too.
young woman is like it's a journey and it never ends. But you're a powerful, fierce woman, and you got these two girls to your left that carry themselves with class and dignity most of the time.
You get a lot of that credit.
What did you do? Because I know what we did as a couple. Like as a mom, moms and dads have their own unique lanes. You'll figure this out. You already know it. Like Mom and I sing the same song, just with a different flavor, right? So, but what did you do?
Mine are
What did you
better.
do for them? What did you do for them growing up that you might not realize was special, but for all the moms and dads trying to build secure daughters that don't look like idiots on TikToks and Instagram? what do you do?
I think I worked on myself a lot for myself. And so I think whatever is in your kids is a reflection of yourself. And so not always, but I do feel I had great parents, and my parents taught me a lot of things about how to understand myself. As a 16-year-old, I remember being taught what were my greatest needs I needed, and what was realistic from a human, and what do I need to go to God for.
Interesting.
And
Well,
so I
that was
think
us.
when I was 16, that was the beginning for me of searching for what I was able to get from God, and I could only ever get that from God. So I had to do work on me and God. And then there was things that I could get from my parents or from a guy or from my husband, but putting everything on a human is not realistic, and it's not sustainable, and it's not healthy. And so I definitely learned how to go to God first. And then some of the other things, and this was as a young teenager, I didn't do this perfect, obviously, like I'm human, so I definitely had my moments, but at my core, I think I really tried to dig into who was I and how can I get that from Jesus and from the Holy Spirit, and what's my responsibility in that. And so when I became a parent, I think teaching my girls and my son, but teaching them about the Holy Spirit was huge for me, and who God is in their life. And that was what I focused on. So I remember vividly as a little girl with Ava especially, but with both of them, but Ava, just even about telling the truth and teaching her, hey,
That's why I literally can't lie, guys.
yeah, hey.
You both are atrocious liars,
know me?
bro. You're the worst.
And I think it's a beautiful trait, because
Yeah.
there are things that, why would you want to carry that shame and those things that you try to hide, and trying to teach them as little girls, hey, that feeling that you have when you feel yucky inside, and I know I would use words like that that were relatable to their ages, but as a 5-year-old being like, hey, you know, when you said that, and you know that's not true, but you felt something different, that's actually Jesus speaking to you. That's the Holy Spirit speaking to you. And that
totally
yucky
remember that.
feeling that you have is actually God speaking to you. And I tried to teach those little things to them when they were little.
Yeah.
And I think it has come out in them as they've gotten older. They do, I think, a beautiful job of trying to be honest and trying to be authentic. And I think that's come from what I've learned as a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
No,
makes sense.
what
totally
I'm hearing
agree.
you say is very powerful, and I think it's. I just immediately go to, as parents, you have this much control, and I don't
Very
know. I don't know
little.
what other parents are going towards, but like we have always tried to lean you into your relationship with Jesus, because that's all we've got. So all the real
That's
growth.
our responsibility as parents. They're not our.
Yes.
They've been given to us from God.
Yeah.
But they're our responsibility to train them into hearing and learning
Yeah.
godly principles and hearing the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And that's been my only goal as a parent.
Well, the real growth happens outside of mom and dad's voice.
Yeah.
And so most of y'all's mistakes and wins that you've told us about have been like, hey, I messed up and I felt on the inside that I got to make a change. And that's music to my ears, because that's what serves you the rest of your life. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, when you were asking me that question, like just about how we navigate social media and blah, blah, blah. I remember just feeling like, if I am feeling like a little like, you know, I'm about to like make a thirst trap or something that is a little more like sluzzy or whatever. Because I'm a human, like you look at yourself like that. But like if I ever get in that space of like feeling like I need to post something like that, or like if I ever feel like that thought that creeps in of like, is somebody going to think that this picture is like aesthetic or like cool? Because like everyone gets those, right? Regardless if you like to say it or not. I always am checking with myself, like, where am I at with God then? Because like, I just remember like moments like that. I remember being always checked, like, where am I at spiritually then with my security, or like I'm insecure right now, and that's not when I'm with God.
Great.
I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not insecure.
Not a great time to post.
No,
Yeah.
right. So yeah, and that's why like I've really noticed a lot recently, maybe since like kind of being at school and in college, I don't post on Instagram as much because especially if I'm feeling like shitty or like navigating through hard situations,
Yeah.
like what am I gonna post on Instagram for?
Right.
Like
Right.
it's like, and it's a small thing. It might not sound like important, but like posting a random photo of me at the beach when I'm actually at the beach bawling my eyes out, writing in my journal, sad about something that just happened.
So
Why
you
am I
get a
gonna
bunch of
act like
strangers to say you look good, and you get that
Right.
dopamine hit, right?
or like I have a bunch of pictures in my camera roll that I could post 1,000%, but like who are those friends that I'm with in that moment? Are they actually like people that I value, or like what am I doing out like that? You know, like checking myself with things like that. I think it's been ever since we were little, just like where are we at with Jesus then? Because like some of those decisions rely on where we're at with that stuff.
Yeah. Chara,
What?
you're agreeing. This is
Yeah.
the same thing.
Like
yeah.
I just totally like I just agree.
You always bring your God thoughts of like, hey, it's the word that we love is conviction.
Yes.
Like what has God given you a conviction about? So you make your choice. Hey, Dad, should I date this guy? What's your conviction? What's your standard? You tell me if you should date this guy. If it's up to me, it's always going to be a hard hell no. Like absolutely not. But I relent and I let you make your own call because you guys have such inner security that you're building. So I think it's beautiful, and it is a credit to your mother because she's a strong human, and that comes from a lot of work. I think that's why a lot of parents go heavy-handed. I think what you were referring to, Love, is we do meet parents that have stopped growing themselves, and then they try to dish a lot of wisdom to their kids. Is it fair to say that me and Mom, even our mistakes we've made, is it the fact that we don't give up on them when we work that has impacted you? Because I think you guys have said that before. It's not like the parents that are perfect. It's the parents that are trying.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can have an impact. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah.
I think I could guarantee like any kid probably wouldn't trust or believe as much of the advice or like actually listen and take what they're hearing from their parents if they're not like seeing that actually happen, or like you know, just like seeing y'all's fruit in like everything. I think I wouldn't be listening to any of your reframing stuff if I didn't actually see you do that in moments where like you might be frustrated for a second, then you out loud do what you do and like whatever. If I didn't see that and then you're telling me to like reframe all this stuff, I'd be like,
Well, bro, you know,
I'd be like, bro, get out of here. Like it's you know, and or same with her if she's like having a complaining moment, and we know Mom is working on complaining.
I have a lot of those.
But like even that, it's like, okay, but Mom, if I'm complaining and Mom's like, maybe don't, like, what's with your tone or what's happening? Like that would piss me off even more. But if I notice that she does that with herself, it's different. Like, and I actually listen to what y'all say with that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I want to just publicly acknowledge both of you guys just for being freaking legends. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everything you do. Like even the way you handle your faith. We had a conversation, Charlie, just about this is just a big brat. But I love the fact, Charlie, that you've made a clear distinction from Christians you see that are all about the doing.
Yeah.
But there's no love, there's no fruit, because that's not how we operate.
Yeah.
So we're less interested in telling you all the stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
More interested in you being impacted by who we are.
Yeah.
And then as you get around to it, you can ask what we do. But I love the way that y'all wear your faith.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you that the other day. It just makes me proud because there's a lot of people who don't connect with God because people are in the way.
Yeah.
And you guys make it really easy for people to go, I wonder what they're about.
Yeah.
You know, because you have friends that aren't Christians at all, and they never feel like y'all are judgy. I think that's powerful.
Yeah.
People need that.
Yeah. And I think learning about like what we did, like TC, the message for however many months that was like learning about fruits of the Spirit, but like learning about fruit, from your relationship with Jesus, not about like what you're doing or like what you're getting or reading your Bible, blah, 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 but like actually seeing things happen in your life that like are flourishing and not like out of your control completely, but it's just from what you're doing. Like the concept of fruit has been so helpful for me, at least personally, because like that is something that I bring up in conversations with people who I feel like are Christians that are like, you know, if I'm holier than you because of this stuff, like I always bring up, okay, have you checked your fruit? Or like, what's
Yeah.
happening? Like,
Right.
are you sure? Like,
Yeah.
so that's been cool. And like what we're saying too, like y'all's fruit and with your faith and like what you guys do consistently every day. It's just like, that's been cool for me.
Charlie, let me ask you this. What in the interest of talking about connection, shout out to all the dads. I get the best interaction from people in this chapter of life, and they're because it's super genuine. So I hear from a lot of dads that are like, I struggle to connect with my daughter. I don't know what to do. And my first response is, A, you're doing way better than you think you are.
Yeah.
Because as a dad, if you even think that, you're going
at
the
least
right
you're
direction.
yeah,
So huge shout
aware.
out to the dads that are trying. You all are complicated humans. That needs to be said, okay? Having teenage daughters that are growing up into powerful women, it's the ride of a lifetime. Like my goal has always been to stay in the boat. Like I don't ever want to get out of the boat. But what is one thing, Char, that I used to do that didn't work, and you can my feelings cannot be hurt, and then that maybe we shifted to. So, Dad, you used to do this, and it didn't help our connection. Now you do this because what I used to do that didn't work might be even more helpful than even what we're doing now. So, can you speak to that? I mean, I know that I'm pretty perfect as a dad. I'm kidding. Okay. It's going to be tough for you to find something I did wrong. So take your time. Pull up a chair, if you're
I'm like, I thought of it.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
like,
I'm like,
had an answer.
They both have answers.
shoot, fire from the hip.
Well, I feel like one of our obvious ones that we've worked on was the texting, because I suck at texting back, just like with everybody. And then on my part, trying to, like, I think I've gotten better at responding.
You have.
But also that's because you've gotten better at not being like, you have to respond when I text you at 7 a.m. thinking that you're already awake. And then it's like, and then it's also like, I don't know, just like the way that you reach out to me has changed, of like, just like the casual, like random texts instead of the scheduled calls and like call every 2 weeks. And then it's like, that just didn't work for me. Or
Okay, if people are wondering, did I try? Yes, I am a
You're
OCD.
a bit of a planner.
Laura, I'm getting there.
But because
Continue.
we
Fine.
also like, I thought that would work.
Right.
Because like, I just like, sometimes it's weird because sometimes routine works for me and sometimes it really does not. So it's like, yeah, I was just like, and I've talked to my friends about this, of like, I prefer just like the random, casual, like, I'm going to get back to you when I get back to you text. And like, and so but it's also been like, I also have to kind of lock in and figure out like, okay, my dad's not like my friend from home. Like, I have to respond sometimes.
All right, here's my revelation on this. Thank you for sharing that. It's a very kind thing to say. Here's what I had to realize is that a lot of my parenting, when I'm frustrated, it's about me. So I would take it personal, which is ludicrous when you think about it. Like, I'm a grown man, and if my daughter doesn't text me back, it means what about me? And I think when you shift as a dad to like, my job is to figure you out. That's what I'm going to keep doing, rather than here's the way I work as your dad. And at this house, we text back within 10 minutes. That's how I wish it was. But that's not who you are. So what's funny is by releasing that, you're actually way better. And if will you allow me a frame pushback? You don't suck at returning text. You just haven't invested in that part of your communication rhythm. You don't suck at anything. So anyway, we'll get that off air. I'll make sure we don't allow I sucks around this house. But I think that's my revelation on that. I appreciate you saying it. So maybe other dads, if you have a plan that you think is supposed to work, but it's not working, let that thing go.
Yeah.
Start again. And we do that. We do it sometimes every other week, Char, because you're like, Dad, I'm in a different vibe this week.
Yeah.
Let's check in every day. And there's other times I'm like, Charlie, it was November since I heard from you. Are you there?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's also like, I've gotten better at that through building like over time, of seeing that like you actually respect the fact that like I don't respond a lot of the time. Like, I'm like, okay, he knows that I like random calls, so this is the random call. Like, it's like, it's not
I
like
appreciate that. Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just like a check-in call and not like a scheduled, we have to talk about your last week call. Like, so it's just.
Okay. So what I heard you say was, I used to be kind of demanding with what I expected from you.
I don't think it was demanding. I think it was just expectant because
Expectant.
we went into it.
You're
like,
waiting.
Maybe I've softened my expectation and made them more flexible
Yeah.
according to how you feel. Is that fair? Okay. What about you, Boo?
The first thing that came to mind was, I don't know. Tone is tone. I would just say tone of like,
Oof, that's a tough one for me.
no.
No,
but
it's a constant thing I have to grow
like
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
same. Every conversation, like whether that's like a deep one or like a normal one, or if it is a time where you're probably a little frustrated. Before, I think I experienced just feeling a little like, not attacked, but it was more just like, okay, like I know when he's upset, and he's upset. It's not like let's figure this out. Now it's a very like, you can tell me if you're upset, and you can have a tone sometimes because you're human, but like voicing that did not happen before, I think. And
Interesting.
that's also helped us be able to do that, because I think a big thing with you is like, feeling like what you're doing is reciprocated, or like if you're giving us the time to listen to what we're saying, we should also be able to listen to what you have to say too. And you've built that, and that hasn't been that didn't happen a while ago, you know?
I'm hearing you say, my tone before was a revealer, and I think that I would be like, almost try to not be honest about how I'm feeling. No, I'm good. It's like now maybe the change is more honesty about, hey, by the way, I'm going through a really huge challenge.
Yeah.
So if I seem a bit snippy, it's not directed at you. I'm trying to work through it. And then everybody's cool. It's just when you operate like that and act like it's not impacting people, I think it loses some of the
Yeah. And I think a fun way to connect, like why I love connecting with you, and I think just like for dads in general, it is cool to know where they're at as a human being, like regardless of them being your dad.
Is at?
Yeah.
100%.
Like, and I think that would be a cool, I don't know, if you're trying to connect with your daughters, like just like literally acting like yourself and being a human and not trying to act like the dad. Like I love just hearing about like if you are frustrated, because it's rare, but like hearing about if you're mad about something when you're not being like the fixer, the reframe or whatever, like that's like not fun, but it's like nice for me to hear. It's refreshing. And even if it's like, if you're having a good day, like I love hearing about that too. So I think that would be cool to like try with whoever's listening with that stuff.
So dads, the advice, what I'm hearing you say is just to be honest about the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And it creates more connection.
Yeah.
I think we hide the good as parents, thinking that we're keeping them safe. But kids are very intuitive, and they can sense when a parent is off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we always like, as parents, we're like, I gotta be this strong, and it's like, and the kids are like, you're full of crap.
Yeah,
Like,
and that makes us be like, okay, well,
then
peace
you have
out.
an
I'm gonna do
attitude
whatever.
back.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think you've done a great job of that with the kids, of being like, hey, I'm having this type of day, or this is why, blah blah blah. Like, give them all the reasons why, and then they can go, okay, cool, and then everyone gets a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
I think as parents, too many of us think I've got to be the strong dad or the strong mom, and I can't show them that I'm having a teary day. Like the other day, I had an upsetting day, and you were like, "Hey, remember you can go home and show Roman that it's been a tough day."
Yes.
And usually I'd be like, "Ugh," and try and hide it and just get down to cooking and doing what I need to do.
Lo-fi music.
Wait, but for those of
put
you
my
that are
music
just
on.
listening, whenever Laura does her, that is a complete. She has no respect for you or whatever you're saying at that moment.
You should be
okay?
offended if you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
that
yeah,
in the
yeah.
conversation.
But I think being able to be like, yeah, Roman, I've had a teary day.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
didn't go my way, and blah blah blah. Like, whatever the situation is, you don't need to give them all the details, but to be
Yeah.
human and to show that you have emotions and feelings is okay for your kids to see. It
Yeah.
doesn't cause trauma
Yeah.
in them.
We
It's
see
like-
everything already.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a blessing and the curse of our. Now, it's the blessing and sometimes the frick part of the way our family's connected is that we can say something's okay but we can tell if it's not.
Yeah.
And the reason why that happened with Mom, because we had a very emotional thing go down, and I said, by the way, your big-eared son who might be the biggest feeler out of all of us,
Yeah.
he's going to know you're not okay.
Yeah.
So don't try to act like you are. Just tell Roman that you've been crying because he'll stress about it all day.
Yeah.
And you guys have caught me on it a few times. You've been like, hey, Dad, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing's wrong.
What are you talking
Dang it. Okay, yes. And even, Charlie, we had a conversation earlier where I'm like, hey, I can feel
Yeah.
something is heavy on you. So just know that. And it's almost like, do you want to be connected to somebody? Because if you are, it means you're going to be accountable all the time. So people often say that I want to be close. It's like, do you?
Yeah,
Because
do
if you
you?
want to be close, it's going to cost you. Shout out to Harlow. This is our new rescue guy. He's very cute, very sweet. Shout out to Harlow. Which, by the way,
Don't find him.
speaking of people I respect now because of you guys,
Oh yeah. Look at
Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow hit me up.
Jack Harlow, shout out for the
Jack
culture.
Harlow.
I've lost all
love
faith
you.
that there will be white rappers that are going to come through and make me proud. And then lo and behold,
Yep.
I was about, 8 years late on Jack Harlow?
Very many.
Well, I refused to listen to him because I didn't want to be disappointed.
Yeah.
So once,
But then we sprinkled him here and there, and then you were like,
bro, Jack Harlow
Bro,
can
co-
go.
yeah.
Shout out to Jack Harlow.
Come on the pod, bro.
bro, please marry me.
Okay. So Char, when you say music, say more.
Okay. I think that this honestly goes back to mom implanting the convictions and stuff in us when we were young, because I think that that's very like, I'm very particular with what I listen to, and I've also like, yeah, I think it's just like the lyrics that we listen to, like Doechii. I love Doechii because her lyrics are not bad, and I like Cleo Soul. Like I showed you that because her
Oh, I love her.
She's my new
every
fave.
song is like life will be, know that you are loved, like sunshine. Like it's her songs are like, it's just there's it's
She's
the
been
energy,
added to my 4 p.m.
the energy in the music that I listen to is very important to me.
And I think we always talk about how we kind of have the same, we have our own like what we like, but we have an interestingly same palette of music
Yes.
that we like. And like we get convicted about the same kind of music at the same time. So it's
Yeah.
like really funny. Like Playboy Cardi just dropped an album and like we vibe with
Like,
a lot of it.
yeah.
But like there's some on there where we're like,
we're just like,
we were in the car and we were like, I
Yeah.
gotta turn it
Nice.
off. Like
Yeah.
things like that. But
Can I say something about that, about the two of you? And Romy's the same way. It's one of my highlights as a dad is that somehow in God's grace, we didn't have to just take music off the table. We got to
Right.
teach you what's right, what's holy,
What feels
what's-
right.
what feels good in your best you, your spirit. And so it's not like, hey, don't listen to Playboy Cardi. It's hey, what feeds you? What you feed will grow. Here's some demonic tones I want you to be aware of. If you ever hear this in a song, throw it out your car. And then y'all have found a way. Roman's the same way. Like, and we're able to like live with it. We're not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
family. It's like, get it off. That's
Yeah.
devil music. It's like, no, that devil
like
music has a
it'll
wicked
come
beat.
on, it'll come on and we're out and we're
yeah,
like,
we're
whatever.
good.
yeah,
But
like
there's-
I think that we've found the
Yeah, it's a
balance
balance.
of like
Yeah.
the real world is like we're gonna hear this type of
Yes.
music, and we have to be able to know how to be able to just ground and be like, I hear this, I don't even like it's not entering my
Yeah.
my spirit.
Yeah.
I think that's been an important part of like, especially like just like going out like with friends, like it's
Yeah.
like that environment can get really freaky really quickly
Yeah.
if you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And I think it's just been like, okay, like the name of Jesus has power. Let me just say it out loud while I'm walking down the street, and it just makes like it
Yeah.
it changes, you know, how I feel all the time.
Okay, I love it. I'm gonna say a word, and I want you to say what immediately comes to mind.
Okay, go.
And Lozzie, you're co-leading this
quiet?
part with me.
Oh, okay.
Because you would
But
just interrupt.
I think it might
anytime.
even be better for you just to hop in there as well.
Yeah, come on.
So I'm gonna say the word. There's no timing. I'm just gonna say it. What do you think? Ready? Church.
Fun.
Music.
That was my one. Fun.
All right. Here are the parameters, Laura.
Oh, okay.
If you happen to match a word with the person
Oh,
next to
it's
you, we
okay?
can just roll through
All
it.
right, right,
okay?
right, right.
So, church. I heard fun. I heard-
Music.
okay. Worship music.
Peaceful.
Peaceful life.
Life.
I just thought of gospel. I just thought
Gospel.
of I just saw black people at
Yeah.
church on stage.
Yeah.
I was like, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I said worship music, and you thought of
I thought of our church. I
our
thought
church
of
at TC.
yeah. I thought
That's
of Destiny,
beautiful.
Row,
I
Christian,
love that.
Shout out to
Mike.
Destiny. Shout out to Roe, who's dominating the play
Yeah.
right now. Christian Spalding, amazing.
Yeah.
Love you all.
I love that guy.
Doechii.
Mm-hmm.
She has cool earrings.
Okay, it's more than a word, but
that's
we'll
9
roll with
words.
it. Go.
Sorry, I don't know
We
who
can go
uses that.
phrases.
Powerful.
Yeah, I'd say. I don't even know, like. I just get a feeling. I don't get
Yeah.
words.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
get
Okay, you get a
feelings.
feeling. Mac Miller.
Some of his stuff
R.I.P.,
is a bit
man.
sad.
Beautiful.
Miss him.
Sad.
I told y'all the story the one
But
time
he's
I was
Wish
in
I
a-
could see him live.
I was in an elevator somewhere and with his mom,
Yeah.
and we had like the longest convo. Yeah, he passed away a couple not too
Crazy.
long after. Weed.
Fun.
I can't think of a word for it.
That probably says enough, Char.
I'd say like. I
think-
don't think of words. I can't
Okay,
think of
that's
words.
part of this exercise.
I think overrated. Like in
Overrated?
terms of like what Christians think.
Oh, or maybe
Underrated?
mislabeled. perhaps?
Mislabeled.
Okay.
Mislabeled.
Okay.
I would say misused,
Misused.
misunderstood.
Okay. Alcohol.
Scary. Pain.
Also
Tummy.
Sick.
calming. Jesus used it.
I'm like
Jesus
sick. She's like, I'm like bed rest for 24 hours.
Calming. Beautiful.
Wait, Jesus' first miracle had alcohol in it.
Okay.
Brings people together, and it was for certain things, not for
Hey.
what.
No,
Hey,
college
me and
people
mom
use
love
it
a
for.
white wine.
Hey, it's
My relationship with alcohol has changed so much this last semester. I would say that. Like, well, you guys have always advised us against, be like drinking out, doing all that, and I've like I don't really
No, be safe.
And I've just found like the balance of like I actually don't like the feeling of being drunk and out of my own body. Like I feel like I've found the balance of like you can indulge and like have like fun without being completely unaware of where you are, who you're
Beautiful.
talking to, because it just never leads to anything good. It leads to other people being uncomfortable. It leads to you being uncomfortable. It leads to like the Sunday scaries off the charts. Like I just don't. It's just not.
Yeah.
And so
Sunday
that's been-
Scaries is great. And to go back to our frame, when people ask me about drinking, I often say, well, what do you think about it? And they say something like, I needed to have fun. My immediate retort would be, what else might be true?
Right.
It works everywhere.
Yeah.
It could also be true that you've told yourself that. When you look at the stats, you getting drunk, sleeping with someone you don't know, waking up puking in a gas station bathroom,
Right.
and then 2 weeks of regret doesn't seem necessarily
Yeah.
the path
Good
you're
idea.
saying you
Yeah.
want to be on.
Right.
So it's just and that comes from one question: what else could be true?
Yeah.
Family,
Love.
Home.
love, and home. Honesty,
Hard.
Needed.
Hard.
hard, and needed. Okay. Powerful. We're going to leave it there. I love both of you dearly.
Love you.
Proud of you. Thanks for
Love
being
you,
on this
Mama.
pod. Laura Lentz, the OG. Anything you need to say before we shut this episode down?
No, I think I'm done. We got to go to church soon again. We got to see Jesus rise again.
Oh my gosh.
Again for the 4th time.
Thank you. This episode is from the heart. It's about as unscripted as you can get. And we're grateful for you joining us on this Lights On journey. Let us know how you feel. Let us know about what more wisdom, especially my 2 daughters, can share, because they're going to be frequent.
I think that's the most thing we
Contributors.
get asked
far.
about. Asked about is parenting. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're definitely not perfect, but
What's going on over there?
No, like
You got
while you're
those?
talking about us, we're like,
call me.
Oh my God.
I'm like,
jeez.
husband can leave applications down below.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Lights off.
Until next time, subscribe if you have not. Lights On with Carl Lentz, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you're checking this out. We love you. See you next time.
And
Off.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did being a part of it. And I just want to highlight something before you go that matters deeply, because we get into it a little bit, but it's a huge part of my life right now, personally, and with the work I do with other people. And we bring it up here. It came through naturally, but a question that can really change your mind, which can then change your life. when you get hit with something that doesn't make sense or it's frustrating you, maybe this week, just train yourself to say, what else might be true? That's it. And see what comes of it. The small thing leads to huge fruit in your life. So when you get hit with something and you think it and you feel it and it makes you feel stuck, just say, what else might be true? I have a feeling it's going to become a weapon in your life. So thank you, as always, for being a part of this Lights On journey. And we'll see you next drop. Bye.